Hi folks, this video is called The Approaching Cataracts of Time. Now I actually got that saying, I think it's from an old Terence McKenna speech, one he probably did with the punk band or the cyber band, The Shaman, around the late 90s, something like that. But it's a phrase that I find myself using more and more. And when I think particularly of cataracts, I think of waterfalls. And when I think about what's coming up in 2025, it does seem as if we're heading into a year that's really going to define the long-term future of our species. Now, on the surface, and please don't take this as flippant, on the surface, there'll be economic warfare between America and China. There'll be ongoing conflicts between Ukraine and Russia and in the Middle East. The same old stories that have been playing out will continue playing. But I suggest that there's one way of looking at it that says that this is just what's on the surface. But lying just underneath the surface is a growing and accelerating urge for something new, something different. Now, of course, astrologically, 2025 is the year where everything changes. Pluto's moved into Aquarius. Uranus will move into Gemini. Saturn and Neptune will move into Aries. It's the big shift that we've been talking about for years. And it's going to bring a shift in consciousness. It's going to bring an acceleration of the interfacing between technology and consciousness. This is the start of the age of Aquarius, if you like. But it's split into two halves. The first half of 2025 is going to be quite chaotic. There's a particular time towards the end of March and the start of April where there's a week or 2 week long period where 5 planets are all together. The Saturn and Neptune in the North Node and Mercury and Venus both standing still at the end of Pisces. This is going to be a pretty chaotic time. Maybe the second, third week of March, something like that. I'm not quite sure. Somewhere around late March, early April. There's also the time where Uranus moves into Gemini around June, just as Jupiter's getting ready to move into Cancer. What's pretty obvious, though, is that the more we get into the second half of 2025, the less dramatic things will become and will settle into some type of rhythm. But the first half of next year, we're going to be going over the waterfalls. And some of those waterfalls will plunge us down into the depths. And many of us, especially those of us that insist on reacting in old, tried, trusted ways, will find our boundaries being shattered and will be cast up on the rocks and it'll be chaos. Others will go, well, I either sink or swim. And they will learn to bend the rules instead of breaking them, become more flexible and adaptable. And they're the ones who will not only survive, but thrive. The old rules are going to fall by the wayside. It seems that the time of the old dinosaurs is coming to an end. I know this is a theme I go on about a lot, but this time I'm not just talking about the dinosaurs as in the old men. I'm talking about the old ideas of big nation states. They're crumbling under their own importance. The future is increasingly becoming virtual. You know, in a few years' time, it's going to be much more difficult to actually travel around the globe than it is now. So this is a time where the development of an enhanced and advanced level of consciousness with the aid of soft technology is acting as a kind of precursor for the future of humanity. I see no reason why we shouldn't be able to colonize space, for example, in the next few years with nanotech microbes. We don't need to send bodies into space. The idea of colonizing Mars, what a waste of time and energy. But we can send microorganisms or micro nanobots. That's a much easier way of doing things. The future's in the micro. The technological and the acceleration of the technological developments of this time is still gathering pace. A few years ago, who'd heard of ASI or AI? Only in science fiction films. Now it's commonplace. We're approaching, I say, a cataract. It's more of a nexus point. And that nexus point will define how we as a species are fit to evolve for the future. So is the future going to be dystopian, run by combines, corporates, banks, and the faceless few multi-billionaires? Or is it going to be a future based on consciousness enhancement, intelligence, maturity, and a realization that we've only got one planet and we're all together in this sink or swim? And the choice, dear listener, is yours. One planet, 8 billion different worlds. Learn to swim and learn to dance. Catch you soon. Bye.